The passport is out, so it's time for a trip. So here we go through the airport, on the plane. And we're heading for a 3-night stay in Krakow, Poland. First thing we did was order an Uber taxi to our apartment, which was £6, and this was a lot cheaper than the taxis waiting at the airport. We stayed in an apartment in Rynek Glowny, which was approximately 9 miles from the airport. The location of our apartment was absolutely perfect as this square had so much to offer. As you can see, the morning we landed was a little wet, but the weather would improve. Let's have a quick look at the apartment, which was clean, warm, spacious, and comfortable. I have shared a full review of this apartment on another video. If you're interested in having a closer look, go check it out, as I would recommend booking. Now let's get out and have a look around and get a bite to eat. One thing's for sure is that there is no shortage of cafes or restaurants. So after refueling, we took a walk around the square, which was absolutely stunning. What made it better is that the rain stopped and the sun made an appearance. In the heart of the square is an amazing landmark known as the Cloth Hall, which has a large market inside. After a relaxing stroll around the square, we then had a walk through Planty Park. Planty wraps itself all the way around the old town and is a brilliant walk. We then decided to exit Planty Park once we spotted Wall Royal Castle. We walked around the outside, then walked up this hill, which let us see a closer view of the castle. Once up high enough, you will be introduced to some amazing views of the Vistula River. Both architecture and views around the castle are breathtaking. All this walking works up a thirst, so we stopped to resolve that issue. Then we stopped at La Campana restaurant to take care of a hunger issue. The staff, food and wine were excellent here, and it was reasonably priced. After our meal, we decided to go back to the square, and we were pleasantly surprised at how stunning it looked under the lights. We were also surprised at how the square came to life. The square had music with people dancing and having fun. It was great to see. Everyone was having a great time, so we decided to take it all in, with one last drink to end a busy day, of course. Day 2, and with lots to do, we are up bright and early for breakfast. We found a great little cafe around the corner. It had so much on offer and all looked so tasty. In the end, we opted for the focaccia, which definitely hit the spot. Breakfast over, and time to move on to a tour of the salt mine. We booked this online through Get Your Guide. For a tour of the salt mines, it costs £39.87 per person. Make sure to give yourself time to get there, as on this morning the traffic was slow, and we just made it in the nick of time. After a short time queuing and being explained the rules from the guide, we were on our way down through the mine. The mine is currently one of Poland's official national historic monuments, whose attractions include dozens of statues, and for chapels carved out of the rock salt by the miners. It features a vast 3-kilometer underground route, taking visitors 135 meters below the surface to explore breathtaking hand-carved chapels, underground lakes, and statues made entirely of salt. The duration of the tour was 2.5 hours long, but worth it just to see the Chapel of St. Kingo, the crown jewel of the mine, a massive underground cathedral featuring intricate salt rock chandeliers and wall reliefs. Videos and pictures do the mine no justice. They really do have to be seen to be believed. Once the tour is finished, everyone can follow the directions which can take you to a cafe or, if you want, the exit. Keep walking to line up for the museum or lift. We opted for the lift, but prepare for another 15 minutes walk to get to it. Something a few people struggled with. Once we got topside, we decided to get the train back to Krakow, so we took a 10-minute walk to the station. Train tickets cost £1.50 each. Once back in the square, we decided to refuel. Then, after a well-earned rest, we got back out to see more of the square and decided to check out the Vodka Cafe bar for some tasters. There was so much to choose from, so we took a stab in the dark and went for this. As you can tell, there were no complaints. We didn't stay to overindulge, as we had planned to take a walk around Old Town. We also had dinner reservations. This time we thought we would try some of Poland's national dish, pierogi, which are very tasty stuffed dumplings. The food was great, but just a little tip for the restaurant: turn the heating down a few notches. Afterwards, we walked off some of that food before getting the head down for the next day. Day 3, and our last in Krakow, and it starts with breakfast at our new favorite cafe. Then it's off for a walk to check out the Jewish quarter. If you have trouble walking, then there are tourist buggies all over the city that can get you around, so that you don't miss out. But if you have no trouble walking, then do so at every opportunity, as everything is at a walking distance, and there is so much to see. The Father Bernadette footbridge links the Kazimierz and Podgorz districts. The picturesque river crossing was built in 2010 and is named after Father Liudis Bernadette, founder of the Hospital of the Brothers Hospitallers in Krakow. We also took a walk around the grounds of Corpus Christi Church. The Gothic church was founded by King Casimir III the Great in 1335. It was intended as a monastery church, which explains the large plot of land on which it stands, and the presence of a monastic cemetery next to it. Just the place we were looking for. Akradlik is known for its traditional Polish street food. Therefore, zapiekanka is a must-try when in Krakow. A zapiekanka is a popular Polish open-faced, toasted baguette sandwich, traditionally topped with sautéed mushrooms and cheese. The location is filled with not just food vendors, but also market stalls. To get yourself a taste of some zapiekanki, just make your way to any window and place your order. Once we finally decided what we wanted, it was delicious. Then we made our way back to Old Town, where you can hear the trumpet call, played every hour from the taller northern tower. The tune abruptly cuts off to honor a legendary 13th century trumpeter who was shot in the throat while sounding the alarm before a Mongol attack. We then spent some time looking through the market and getting some souvenirs. We then stopped to rehydrate and take in the surroundings. Afterwards, we decided to go back to our favorite cafe to treat ourselves to something sweet. Making a choice was definitely not easy, as there was so much that looked good. But in the end we made this choice, and my God, it was the right one. It was so good. Then it was time to burn off those calories by taking a walk to our next booking. This booking was a tour of the Vistula River, where we would be able to see all the sights from the water. Again, we made this booking online through Get Your Guide. Once we got on board, we got ourselves to the top deck and picked ourselves good seats. Then we got ourselves some refreshments for the ride. Well, it would be rude not to. Then just sit back and enjoy the views, the architecture, and all the sights that Krakow has to offer. The tour lasted 1 hour, and although costs may vary, it cost us £18.21 per person online. It was worth every penny and more. We really enjoyed that river tour, and once off the boat, we walked around Krakow taking it all in, as this was our last day. Of course, there was time for one last restaurant, and this one was worth waiting for. Everything about this restaurant was perfect, to say the least. The staff, the service, the vibe, and of course the food. It was all 10 out of 10, and when we return, Sorrento will be our first stop. With us having an early morning flight, we had an early night after one last look around the square. 3 great nights, great sights, food and people. Krakow, we will be back. If you enjoyed the video of our short stay, we would appreciate a like. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.